If you can get these three essential things right, then you can start creating products like these, launch your own products, and you will be a millionaire. So in this video, I'm going to take my last 8 years of experience developing products from coffee cups to furniture, from consumer electronics to AUVs scanning deep oceans, and I will try to condense that into a 3-part framework that I would follow if I have to start from scratch again. I call it the Essential Product Design Framework, and there are 3 levels to this, and level 1 is just getting started. A lot of you have asked that how to start and what advice I can give. This is for you guys, or for the version of me that's starting over today. To start, I would begin with the idea that has been sitting in my head for months. Huge hurdle that holds people back from making any progress is just not getting started in the first place. So I would take a pen and paper and sketch the idea, not worrying at all about the sketching skills. Or I'll write it down, what the product does, how it works, who it's for, so that I can get the full picture out of my head. And then I would start prototyping. I would use cardboard, foam, or wood, anything that I can find. And if I knew some CAD, then I would 3D model and print it. Think of this like your first day in the gym. You don't need to know all the fancy equipment or the perfect form. You just need to show up and do something. These prototypes might be terrible because any skills take time, but at least I have made some kind of effort, and that's what matters for now. And after you have made different prototypes, something magical happens. You'll feel this surge of confidence, because suddenly what was just a foggy idea in your brain is now sitting there right in front of you. And now you have to make your first choice. Do you want to make products just for fun, as a creative outlet, or do you want this to be a full-time thing? If you are happy with your day job and just want to make some cool DIY stuff on weekends, that hobby path is totally valid. But if you want to go deeper, then we need to level up and go to level 2, which is getting better. At this level, I'll make at least 4 or 5 more products, not for perfection, just for progress. But now I'll focus on improving my craft. See, making a product requires so many different skills. You need to generate concepts, and for that, you need ideas, user research, technology research, sketching, and then for execution, you need 3D modeling, rendering, prototyping, and then some DFA, DFM, and technical drawings to finish everything up. And in this model, I don't know any of these skills. I don't know how to do design research, how to do 3D modeling, and how to do design for manufacturing. So I need to learn all these skills. And that brings us to our choice number 2. Do you want to learn all of this by yourself, or do you want to go to university and learn from professionals? Sticking with our gym analogy, it's like deciding, do you want to learn exercises and routines by yourself through trial and error, or do you want a trainer to give you a structured program that has been proven to work? The good news is there are tons of options. You got free YouTube tutorials, online courses, boot camps, and of course, the traditional university programs. Personally, I would choose university again because it gave me a structured framework for my design process and taught all these skills in a way that connects together. Plus, you're surrounded by other creative people and professional mentors who can push your thinking. In most design schools, you'll complete at least 3 to 4 design projects, and that's great for building your portfolio. But of course, university is not the only path. You can absolutely do this on your own. You can follow tutorials, take things apart to figure out how they work, and then try to recreate them. In this way, you learn a lot just by doing it yourself. But here's the problem. Most of these tutorials, they focus on one skill at a time, either sketching, modeling, or rendering. All of them are important, but they are just pieces of the puzzle. To actually design products, you need to build your own process. A workflow that takes you from idea to concept to prototype to final product. And for that, you need feedback. So put your work out there. Post your projects on Instagram, LinkedIn, Behance, wherever your people are. This feedback loop shows you what people resonate with, what's working and what's not. And that's how you will grow fast. There's something I wish more people did. Try different kind of products. 1 month, maybe design a piece of furniture. Next month, do a gadget. Then try a lamp. And then maybe a conceptual vehicle. I call this product tourism. And it's not just for fun, it's very essential. It helps you explore different materials, manufacturing methods, and user needs. And more importantly, you will discover what excites you the most. And that's how I found my passion for combining design and engineering and working with the startups. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would love if you could give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It would really help the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, by now you have made at least 4 to 5 different products and you started building a portfolio that actually reflects your skills. And now it's time for choice number 3. Do you want to become a junior designer and work for a company? Or do you want to launch your own company and make your own products? This is where your path splits up, but both lead us to level 3, which is going pro. At this point, I would go and work for a company first. Why? Because that's where you get paid to learn. You learn how products are built at scale. You'll work with different engineers, marketers, suppliers, and that will teach you what actually works in the real world. And later, you can always start your own thing. And now, with experience and confidence. But if you're wired for independence and already have an idea, then building your own products and starting your own company from day one is also a great idea. But keep in mind that you have to learn pricing, marketing, logistics, sales, manufacturing, all on your own. But either way, whether you go solo or join a team, level 3 is all about designing for the real world. Because now, the stakes are much higher. And there are basically 3 things. There are only 3 things that makes your product successful. If you can get these 3 essential things right, then you can start creating products like these, launch your own products, and you will be a millionaire. And those 3 things are: number 1, the problem; number 2, the execution; and number 3, the story. First, let's start with the number 1, problem. Whether you want to start your own company or you work for someone else, this part never changes. Your product has to solve a real problem. Not just any problem, but the one that people actually care about. And how do you find the right problems? You observe and you listen. You can watch this video about design research here. I explain in detail how to do that. Second essential thing is the execution. This is where all those skills from level 2 come together. Your sketching, prototyping, 3D modeling, manufacturing knowledge, all of it matters now. Because good execution means that your product is functional, durable, and a joy to use. The buttons press with just the right amount of feedback. The materials, they feel premium in your hands. And everything just works as expected. But it's not just about the product. It's about the entire experience. From unboxing, to setup, to daily use, to repair. Every touch point matters. And great execution also means that you have to make smart trade-offs. Because in the real world, you'll always have constraints in terms of time, tools, materials, suppliers, and of course, the budget. Your job is to deliver the best possible experience within those constraints. So we have solved the problem, we have executed it well and made a great product, but now we want people to actually spend some money and buy this product. And for that, we need a story. A story is how you connect with people emotionally. It's why they choose your product over others, even when the features are similar. Your story could be about anything: your unique process, the materials you choose, the communities you support, or the vision that your product represents. Your story should be authentic, memorable, it should make them feel something. And your story needs to be consistent across everything: your product design, packaging, website, social media, customer service, everything. So get these 3 things right and you'll succeed whether you choose the designer path or the entrepreneur path. But then comes the most important question. How do I choose my niche? Or what kind of product should I make? It can be broken down into 3 simple approaches: your curiosity, your background, and the market. First is follow your curiosity. What products do you naturally geek out about? What products you own? Because you bought them for a reason. Your natural interests are powerful indicators of where you'll have the stamina to push through challenges. And never fall for the peer pressure of what everyone else is doing. When I started, everyone in India was going mad for UX and UI design. But I followed my interest toward physical product design. And it turned out pretty well. The second approach is to look at your unique background and experiences. What special knowledge that you have that others don't? Maybe you have worked in healthcare and you understand the frustrations of doctors and nurses. Or you are a serious biker and you have spotted problems that other designers would never notice. Your insider knowledge gives you an unfair advantage in spotting problems which are worth solving. So use it. When I was working in Milan, the advantage that I had over other designers was my background and love for engineering in products. This helped me to get better and more complex projects early in my career. And that brings us to a third approach, the market. Look for the growing markets where your specific skill set can make a difference. I'll give you my example again. Because I have skills in both product design and engineering, I mostly work with tech startups that have some sort of physical product component. They prefer someone who understands the engineering behind the product while also handling the aesthetics and overall design. That way, they don't need to hire both designer and engineer, and I get to enjoy a higher salary like others in the tech. And if I have to choose the industry today, then I would go for robotics and AI companies because they still need a human side where design can help. And my second choice would be a company with very marketing based fun product like AirUp or Loop earplugs. But don't overthink this right now. Just remember our level 1 approach and start making something. I have seen so many designers discovering their true calling years after they started. The act of making clarifies your thinking. As you create more products, pay attention to what energizes you. Which projects do you lose track of time working on? Which ones do you naturally talk about with friends? Those are the clues pointing to your niche. Now here's my challenge to you. This weekend, take that idea in your head and just make something. A sketch, a cardboard model, anything. Then share it in the comments below. The world needs more creators who can turn ideas into reality. Because the journey of 1,000 products begins with a single prototype. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.